The great thing about patent or patent filings is that they are public. In fact, the original name patent comes from letters patent, literally open letters, where the seal of the monarch was applied to the unrolled document on a little string like a pendant, rather than sealing it closed in a roll. This meant that although it had the royal seal, everyone could see it. Little bit of history there. So when Ford filed a patent for a new internal combustion engine technology, it wasn't long before a motoring journalist found it and reported on it. In this video we'll look at what it proposes, but more importantly, this is clear evidence that research and development into internal combustion engines is thriving in one of the world's largest car makers. And that means that they have no intention of abandoning such engines in the near future, as there is no way they would waste R&D budget on something that's going away. Like so many auto manufacturers, they say what governments want to hear in public about electrification, but behind the scenes a very different script is frequently playing out. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer turned Sydney YouTuber. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter X. Let's have a look at the article in Car Buzz. Ford finds a way to keep the internal combustion engine around for even longer. While other automakers abandon ICE development, Ford is more committed than ever to building clean combustion engines. Ford files patent for lowering tailpipe emissions through pre-chamber ignition. Patent design directs captured hydrocarbons back into intake. Pre-combustion enables cleaner burn during main combustion cycle. CarBuzz has discovered that Ford has filed a new patent with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, detailing how combustion engines could be made more efficient by bleeding the vapours captured by the positive crankcase ventilation (PCV) system or any similar evaporative emission system into a pre-combustion chamber. Something similar already happens in most modern engines, but sometimes the charcoal canister capturing these emissions cannot purge them back into the intake fast enough, so it vents them back into the atmosphere. The Ford patent makes consideration for a method of adjusting the flow of unspent ventilated crankcase vapours and other emissions delivered from the canister, preventing these emissions from escaping into the air and wasting their remaining potential energy. A broken or jammed valve in the PCV system can lead to overpressurization of the system, and once the integrity of the storage canister is compromised, these emissions escape into the atmosphere. Ford's idea reduces strain on the system, extending longevity, but that's not the main benefit. When the system functions normally, these vapours would simply be collected and sometimes fed back into the intake somewhere. And this does not take full advantage of the potential energy that lies therein, because this fuel is simply remixed with more fuel and air. Ford's idea is better because it would channel these vapours into a pre-chamber, and as Porsche has shown, pre-chamber ignition can unlock plenty of hidden performance. Ensuring a cleaner burn also increases efficiency, as Mazda has proven, as does the reduced buildup of carbon deposits on the intake and exhaust valves. The modern internal combustion engine is a marvel of engineering, quiet, efficient, clean, economical, a result of decades and decades of research and development and refinement. And yet so many legacy automakers are prepared to bow to the will of bureaucrats who know nothing about cars and just dump them without even a backwards glance. I'll link the patent itself in the description if you're interested, but the background text is interesting reading for the technically minded. By increasing an amount of fuel that is supplied to an igniter that includes a pre-chamber in response to purging of fuel vapours from a carbon-filled canister, it may be possible to provide the technical result of improving combustion stability while purging an evaporative emission system so that flow through a carbon-filled canister may be increased. In particular, the igniter may increase a range of air-fuel ratios at which combustion stability may be acceptable. Further, it may be possible to increase flow rates of hydrocarbons from a carbon-filled canister during canister purging, so that a canister may be emptied sooner than if the amount of fuel that is supplied to the igniter is not increased. The present description may provide several advantages. In particular, the approach may reduce an amount of time it takes to purge a carbon-filled canister of fuel vapours. Additionally, the approach may improve combustion stability during purging of fuel vapours. Further, the approach may reduce evaporative emissions by increasing fuel vapour flow during conditions of hydrocarbon breakthrough of the carbon-filled canister. It's fascinating stuff, and while we're on the subject of internal combustion engines, that other brand that has no intention of abandoning them is Toyota, whose chairman, Akio Toyoda, has previously said that battery EVs will never reach more than 30% market penetration, and I think he's 100% right on that. Other technologies that are more practical and more convenient will take over. Toyota committed to developing new internal combustion engines. While most brands are focused on electric vehicles, the world's largest car maker is not giving up on internal combustion engines. Toyota has reaffirmed it is developing new internal combustion engines as it sees battery electric vehicle sales limited regardless of technical advances. Speaking at the Toyota Group Vision Briefing in Nagoya, Japan, Toyota Chairman and CEO Akio Toyoda confirmed the major engine development he spoke of previously at the Tokyo Auto Salon in January 2024. Battery electric vehicles do not represent the only way to achieve carbon neutrality. We will continue producing engines because they still play a role as a practical means of achieving carbon neutrality, Toyota told the audience. Toyota reiterated the ongoing work at the latest briefing as part of the company's multi-pathway approach to new vehicle technology, which sees a mix of battery electric, hybrid electric, and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. Toyota said, as one of only 3 full-line automotive manufacturers globally, the car maker had to assess the energy status of customers around the world. We can leave no one behind, he added. Toyota is even working on novel technologies for internal combustion engines as well, like this one. Toyota working on carbon capture tech for carbon-negative engines. Toyota breathes new life into internal combustion with carbon capture engines that clean the air as you drive. In the age of electric vehicles, Toyota's critics have pulled no punches in calling the Japanese car maker's tenacious commitment to internal combustion backward, even ecologically unsound. But what if there was a technology that could make tomorrow's engines not only carbon neutral, but even carbon negative? Engines that suck carbon dioxide from the sky as they drive. Now Toyota Motor Corp is demonstrating such a technology, a carbon capture engine. The world's biggest automaker began testing the system last year in a GR Corolla race car. The car's hydrogen-burning engine emits only trace amounts of carbon dioxide, making it carbon neutral. And a new filtering device removes the greenhouse gas from the atmosphere with every lap. This type of technology to capture carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is advancing rapidly in the infrastructure industry, said Naoko Ito, Project General Manager of GR Vehicle Development. But as far as we know, Toyota is the first company to test this technology in a vehicle. Bravo Toyota for setting an example for the rest of the industry by refusing to just go along with the diktats of regulators and actively pursuing other technologies that maintain the place of internal combustion in the mix. They rightly refuse to simply discard the technology in favour of a vastly inferior product in the form of a battery EV. Yes, there may be a place for battery EVs in the future, primarily small vehicles for local city travel, but for anything else, they are, quite frankly, useless.